Hello everyone, this is me fulfilling my promise. Don't get me wrong, this is not one of those cliche, I didn't want to make this video rants. I really wanted to make this video, because it is an opportunity for me to be obnoxious. As if I need a reason. I had plans of making fun of it regardless of how it turned out, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to give it a shot. Predator Badlands has been an interesting case of a divisive movie. I hear it being called the worst, the best, and let's not even discuss the broken scales of Rotten Tomatoes. Let's give this thing a fair shake and see where the truth lies. Did Danny Boy really nail it, or is this another celebrated disaster by a Disney-owned studio? Get in, buckle up, and let's find out. By the way, spoilers if you give a shit. We open on the... I'm not saying that. The Hunter's Codex again. But this time, we get an alien planet with a title card. One we actually needed, too. So far, better than Killer of Killers. By the way, that word is also finally spoken in a movie. And I'm still not saying it. The first scene gives us two of its strengths and one of its weaknesses. The action is really good. Choreography that reminded me of the sword in Dan's last movie. And the new Predator tech has some interesting and creative ideas too. Like this grappling hook, for example. Only took you guys over 1,000 years to stop using chains. The weakness is the dialogue. Ignoring the whole alien language thing, we get very generic stuff here. It's very, as you know, Bob, style exposition. But the gist is Big Brother is encouraging the runt to go on a hunt to earn his place in the clan. And he chooses to hunt something so deadly and dangerous that Big Daddy is scared of it. And it is on a planet that they call the Death Planet.
So, it's like Australia
in spice.
Then Big Daddy shows up pissed off. He's mad because the older son did not kill the runt in his sleep. I thought you guys had a codex of honor. That's something Walder Frey would do. Apparently his dad is a bad blood predator that doesn't live by the same honor code. So why did you start the movie with the codex? Also, there is a comic that shows Deck's first mission, and it further explains why his father hates him. The beginning of several problems. Big Daddy restrains the runt and orders Big Brother to kill him. But instead, Big Brother cuts the runt loose, grapples him into the ship, and sets course for the Death Planet. Get over here! After a very short, one-sided fight scene, Big Daddy takes his time in decapping his son that he just lets the ship take off. Are we really starting this movie by not blowing up a goddamn ship? Your son was down. You don't need to waste time by moving slow. If you want both your sons dead, you could just destroy the ship. You're the leader of the clan and the dad. Surely you got overrides for that thing. Are you not properly insured? Is it not paid off yet? Wait, the father figure antagonist is set to kill his sons. Hey! I actually have a thematic reason to use a Soul Reaver clip in a video beyond stylistic choice. Nice! Oh, right. This movie is PG-13. The reasoning behind that is no human characters are in it. Kinda like how the SNES release of the first Mortal Kombat game did not have blood in it. And that is only the beginning of the video game references here. At least I don't have to censor much. So the runt crash lands and is separated from his ship. So he is limited to the weapons he's got on him. And a little at a time, a few things are stolen by a Lovecraftian plant. We get a title drop for the movie itself that's a little silly and made fun of by many YouTubers already, even by those who liked the movie.
Worst part of the movie for me, I could have gone for a cleaner title. It sounds weird. Title comes up, it's all Predator Badlands. The small print is right underneath. It's all 20th Century Studios, all rights reserved, blah, 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 blah. I was like, what? That takes me out of it. Immerse yourself in this dangerous cinematic land, but never forget it's the product of big studio money.
We get a scene of the runt saying to himself that he will kill the beast to avenge his brother and earn his place in the clan. But would that matter? His dad does not give a shit about the rules. We get a few establishing shots and lots of acceptable use of show don't tell stuff. But then we hear that weird word Dan is working very hard to make commonly used when discussing this creature.
Yautja, is this better? Universal translation. You hear Yautja, others hear their language.
Spoken this time by a Weyland-Yutani synthetic. And with it, we get three huge problems at once. First, why does Weyland-Yutani exist? This movie takes place long after the events of either franchise. And in Alien Resurrection, Weyland-Yutani was outlawed and bought out by Walmart. And no, I am not kidding.
One may be led to believe that because if Badland features Weyland-Yutani, then it can't possibly take place anytime after Alien Resurrection. Since, of course, we learn in Alien Resurrection that Weyland-Yutani no longer exists, right?
Oh, they went under decades ago, get him in way before your time. Bought out by Walmart.
Joss Whedon, you silly bastard. And with that company's practices with employees of recent years, that silly line has aged well in the worst ways. By the way, Weyland-Yutani regained power in supplementary material.
Well, hold on there, buckaroo. Clearly you haven't been doing your homework. As the canon stands, Weyland-Yutani did actually regain power after the events of Alien Resurrection. This is outlined in the Weyland-Yutani Report by S.D. Perry, as well as the novel Alien Sea of Sorrows by James A. Moore. Sea of Sorrows takes place in the year 2496, well after Alien Resurrection. As far as the major stories that you may consider canon or proper continuity, this is as far as the timeline goes.
Let's put a pin in that. Problem 2. How does Weyland-Yutani know about this species of alien hunters so well that they can understand their language and even know what they call themselves? I thought these clans had very strict rules of secrecy. The alien hunters might actually put aside their blood feuds and unite, simply to wipe out Weyland-Yutani. Hell, that on its own sounds like a more interesting story. Similar to Concrete Jungle, actually. Better than being thrown away by a throwaway line about Walmart. Anyway, she makes a deal with the runt. Yes, I know he is called Deck, but I'm not saying that either. In exchange for helping her out of the tree, she will tell him what she knows about the planet and about the adversary that cannot be killed. Sound familiar?
Every language spoken, every war waged, every deal struck. They call me Mimir, smartest man alive. Fact is, there's only one person alive who can get you where you need to go. And luckily for you, my schedule's wide open.
That comparison might be a little unfair. Mimir is at least funny.
I'm going to cut off your head now.
Fair enough.
The boasting of a god. Everyone has a weakness.
Not him, I'm afraid. Baldur is blessed with invulnerability to all threats, physical or magical.
You just said that, Mimir.
Did I?
She also tells him about the mutant plants around him cause paralysis. So he sends his shuriken to her, and off-screen she cuts herself free. Then saves the runt from a dragon by... How? How the hell did you yeet yourself like that? You don't have legs. Were you just falling with style and get really lucky? Anyway, the runt wakes up and tries to leave her, but she convinces him to take her along by calling herself a tool. And that joke is way too obvious. She's really more of a toy anyway. Here is the third problem. She's annoying as hell and never shuts up. She keeps jabbing along as he carries her like a duffel bag. He does the C-3PO thing we see in the trailers, but all I could think about was this.
Run, run, run. I can be a backpack while you run.
You know what? That joke is too obvious too. Let's stay on theme, shall we?
Are you a Yoshi?
Thank you for throwing her. And since there are no humans in this movie, I decided to not use my Kill Me Not counter.
Whoa! I've never been thrown before. What a thrill!
Then how do you explain this? If you listen to her, we can determine that Weyland-Yutani has learned their clan dynamics. She even studied them extensively in her own words. So either the Predators are just fine with one of Earth's largest and most powerful organizations having extensive knowledge about them, or Weyland-Yutani has kept their knowledge of them a secret, and she's totally blowing it right now. Either possibility has huge issues. Hold on, studied them how? Did you acquire the information from the OWLF? You know, Gary Busey's organization? Were they bought out by Walmart too? Maybe Amazon. The Real Doll talks about her twin Synthetic and how they work in tandem. We also get some dialogue of her talking to herself about her twin, saying she refuses to believe she's dead. May as well look directly at the camera and say what you feel. Cut to that twin. She's called Tessa, but I'm going to call her Evil Doll, or Android 18. She's being repaired, and we get a scene of Mother informing her that if she fails her mission, she'll be scrapped, or recycled, melted. What is the proper disposal for robots? The next morning, the runt and his real doll with missing fun parts are hunting a bison for food. I have heard complaints from fans saying predators do not hunt for food, and that sentence actually made me chuckle. You can't expect to live off of trophies alone, dude. We get a new character that I decided to name Sun Wukong. You know, because it's a monkey and has like stone flesh or something. Journey to the West. Read a book. Wait, it's a she? Of course it is. Runt does the tree jumping thing we've seen in multiple Predator movies. Good ones and bad ones. That's actually good stuff. Until he reenacts this ridiculous panel from the horrendously bad High Republic comics. Which is especially stupid since we see that same sword do this seconds later. Then another Lovecraftian nightmare tries to eat them, but they are saved by the Stone Monkey Queen. We then get a campfire scene, and hold on. Since when does a predator need a campfire? Sure, fine, whatever. Fire can keep away feral animals, but I'm sure it's just a setting they chose for this scene. You know, something homely and familiar and humanizing our non-human characters. The runt offers his robot tool food, like an idiot. How dumb are you, man?
Alright, what's your gimmick? What are you?
Though if I had to choose, I'd say I'm the pretty one.
6 out of 10.
You sassy bitch.
That makes you the weird one with the freaky power. That would make you, no doubt, the big, tough, stupid one.
You take that back or I'll kill you!
Alright, you're not tough.
That's better!
Wait, didn't you?
Give him a minute.
Hey! You son of a bitch!
Blondie names the monkey Bud, but I'm still going to go with the Monkey Queen, who marks the runt by spitting on him. And we get this ridiculously stupid line.
The dynamic three, the dynamic trio, the dynamic trio! Remember we went down the tree?
Keep in mind, she is supposed to be talking to him in his own language. The English is really meant for us. The same thing Dan did not do for Kenji, but did do for Ursa in Killer of Killers. And a play on words usually won't translate well between human languages. Speaking of communication, he asks her what she is doing here, and she says this.
I'm here because traveling with you is the best way to get back to Tessa.
You manipulative bitch, that's not what he asked you, and you know that. I honestly cannot believe he bought that bullshit answer either. What? Were you expecting sincerity? Were you expecting the Weyland-Yutani synthetic to be honest with intentions and not withhold information? She tells him half her story, and he tells her half of his. Since she is half a non-woman, she at least has a superficial excuse. Then, the runt explains that Tessa is her sister. The alien hunter explains to the robot with feelings that she has a sister. Keep in mind, he's still referring to her as a tool. It's been a couple of minutes, so we're due some Disney-mandated humor. So the runt tells the real doll she needs legs. In response, she says what everyone watching this was thinking.
Was that a joke?
What is this Mickey Mouse shit? Fun fact, there is a deleted scene in AVP of Scar doing a prank on Alexa. They actually do have a sense of humor, but I am not entirely sure how canon works with deleted scenes. Meanwhile, Evil Doll finds the runt's crashed spaceship. It doesn't take long for her to find his trophy wall and arsenal behind it.
Kodak, I've definitely found something. Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Because this movie is less than 2 hours long and we gotta move the plot along. She takes his plasma caster and another weapon that's also another video game reference. A freeze grenade. Cut to a waterfall. And the real doll asks the runt why Big Daddy killed Big Brother. After scolding him for leaving the monkey, she tells him about the wolves of Earth. And all I could think about was this wolf. Maybe try to avoid referencing the bad movies. They make it to the camp, but she finds her legs. She starts putting herself back together, and after she doesn't need him anymore, she comes clean and tells her that Android 18 and the company is after the same monster as him. This, of course, pisses off the runt, so he tries to lure the big nasty to him before the company gets there. Ready for another video game reference? It turns out Shadow of the Colossus was an inspiration for this movie, and no, I am not kidding. A predator using chains and didn't die. Oh, right. We're past due for more Disney humor. The runt does some admittedly really cool shit here, though. The fight is a spectacle, not too different from God of War or Shadow of the Colossus, and I mean that as a compliment, actually. He even successfully decaps this thing that looks kinda like the ultimate weapon from Final Fantasy VI. But this thing heals itself even faster than Godzilla. The beast pins the runt, but opts to not kill him after sniffing it. This is the moment the evil doll shows up and uses a freeze grenade on them both.
Frost wins. Flawless victory.
Cut to a transport? Some kind of thing. Apparently, Weyland-Yutani has lots of resources here, and we will definitely talk about that very soon. The runt wakes up and we get the standard, "I trusted you, you betrayed me" dialogue, and even more stupid dialogue.
Motivate the Yautja to explain its weapons.
Why are you speaking its language?
You heard the orders. I'm asking it to explain this device.
Oh, we also get confirmation that they work in tandem, but can it work the other way around? Then we get a Dr. Evil style leave it to the henchman trope. So Runt and Real Doll trick one of the dumbest robotic guards in movie or video game history. The earliest versions of synthetics were always shown to be very intelligent. Well, maybe not always. And since there are no humans in this movie, I decided to not use my Kill Me Not counter. The runt escapes with Real Doll's help. Then we get two establishing shots back to back that really demonstrate how poorly written this script is. Oh, you need an explanation? Okay. We see the formerly outlawed and bought out by Walmart Weyland-Yutani has not only returned like Palpatine, but has a shit ton of resources and heavy equipment here. Stuff even designed to conceal and transport the ultimate weapon with Wolverine healing. Then, we see the runt made it back to his ship, the same ship that Evil Doll was at earlier. Remember when the Real Doll was asking about their space travel capabilities? Well, here's a fresh fucking UFO just lying around, and they left it behind. To be fair, based on what was said earlier about this planet, there are likely others too. Probably a goddamn spaceship graveyard. Anyway, he remembers his brother by looking at his mask and says, "Wolf." Then he gears up. Weyland-Yutani has his weapons, even though they did not take his ship, so he does it like Dutch did, making weapons out of various plants and animals of the Death Planet. I actually kinda like that until he makes a mask out of the bison bone. Wouldn't the brother's mask be more practical and more fitting for the story? Wait, hang on. How the hell have you been walking around without a mask? I thought these guys were practically blind without them. Even the expanded lore that this movie borrows from suggests they can't survive on other planets for long without one. They require an atmosphere with higher oxygen concentration due to their weight and size. And it's been a few days. To be fair, this movie is not the only one to ignore or forget that. And we don't know for sure how long the days are here.
Dad, how long are the days on this planet?
42 hours.
Oh, he even discovers that the Monkey Queen is the child of the beast he was hunting. The Monkey Queen marked him, which is why he was not lunch. So he recruits her by spitting on her. That's right. The Predator spits on a child in this family-friendly adventure.
God bless you!
So the real doll hacks her legs remotely, and hold on, I thought the evil doll was always connected to her. Does she know she's doing that? Why not just completely deactivate her? Shit, they did the same wait in here bullshit in Alien Earth. Disconnect her from the network. Idiot antagonists really piss me off. And all that is ignoring that several male robots can't handle half a woman robot. But whatever. So the pretty one's fun parts, the stupid one, and the one with weird powers make short work of all the male red shirts and some no red blood PG-13 action. They reunite and we get this stupid line.
Dad, what are you doing here?
I'm here to rescue you.
Wait, you didn't know he was here? I thought you were helping him with your legs. Wait, how do you know where your legs were even going? What's keeping them from tripping over shit you can't see? The runt says he still wants his trophy. The evil doll says to her squad, "Let's go hunt," which is all kinds of dumb, since we know she can just see what her sister sees. Or maybe it's mother? Whatever. Either way, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. A squad of red shirts surrounds the runt, and he does a Tenchu pose. But instead of opening fire, they just stand there waiting to be killed like most of the Xenos in AVP2.
At least I did something instead of just standing there staring at them.
We do that a lot.
What is the status of the Yautja?
I'm sorry, Mother. The Yautja is dead.
So you just assumed they were destroyed then?
We do that a lot too.
Then the evil doll emerges in a giant mech, referencing Ripley in Aliens. But this time, she has the runt's plasma caster and fires a shot. The acid snake, which may or may not be a reference to Prometheus, sacrifices himself to save the runt. But why didn't the evil doll just shoot again? She could just shoot him dead, right now. But instead, we get a sentimental moment with the acid snake we knew for less than 10 minutes. Then she swings at him, starting a new God of War style fight. Then we get this dumbass scene. Real doll impersonates her sister when another synthetic catches her trying to free the beast. No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, no IFF, no nothing. She fakes being evil so bad that Tommy Wiseau would be proud. And it actually works for a bit. But then she just beats him up anyway.
You should listen to her.
I should listen to her.
I don't know.
I audibly said, "That's so dumb," when I saw this. Wait, why does a crew of robots require verbal communication? With supercomputers being able to process faster than we can think, wouldn't it be more efficient to just have them all connected on the same network like a hive mind? Remember, this is the furthest in the future we have ever seen in either of these franchises. Yet, robot technology somehow got even worse. Reminds me of the TLJ bombers. How could these robots have lasted this long on a dangerous planet if they are this dumb? Meanwhile, the runt fights with the evil doll, who continues to not shoot him when the plasma caster when he is right in front of her. And the now freed Ultima weapon ripoff attacks the mech and eats the evil doll. We get a calm, sentimental, sweet forehead touch between the beast and the runt, and then the beast explodes into frozen chunks.
Fatality.
I guess it can be killed. Wait, does this mean the evil doll failed her mission? You know, if she escaped the same way we think Torres did, because he escaped off screen, she could have just frozen it again and not fail her mission. She emerges from the fog with her artificial flesh gone, and the Monkey Queen mourns her mother. Evil doll aims the plasma caster at the real doll, but she's stabbed by the runt from behind. Is that honorable? Does that count since it's a robot? Then the Monkey Queen rips out her spine and skull too, in a moment that I think was supposed to force laughter. The runt returns home to face off with Big Daddy. He makes short work of 2 guards and faces his dad one-on-one.
Round 1, fight!
His spear has green blood at both ends, and his dad has a red sword. So my brain thought of this. The runt easily defeats his dad.
Ow, my mask!
Finish him! Cabal wins.
absurdity.
Tribe of Three have a heartfelt moment after the runt takes his cloak. Oh, right. He was fighting his big brother to earn his cloak in the beginning. You know, when that same brother was tasked to kill him. We get a title card for a few seconds before it's interrupted by another ship. It is not a friend. It's his mother. But come on, how bad can she be?
We meet at last, Mother.
And that's Predator Badlands. Not the worst movie of the franchise. That dishonor is between The Predator and AVP2. It does not fundamentally reframe past Predator movies, and we can actually see the fight scenes, okay? But it is certainly not the best either. Not even close. Not better than Predators, AVP, Predator 2, or even Prey. It's slightly better than Killer of Killers because it doesn't repeat a few of its mistakes. The most common phrase I hear when discussing this movie is Disneyfied, and there is a lot of truth to that. But there are things it does well. The fight scenes are a visual spectacle. I even like the concept of Deck being marked for death and hunting to prove himself, as well as avenging his brother. There are some good things here. The Death Planet itself feels very real, otherworldly, and a bit unexplored. That's actually a good thing because there has to be some mystique to enjoy, because any mystique concerning the Predator is just gone. If we weren't at overexposure to the Predator before, we definitely are now. Humanizing the demon who makes trophies of men is a mistake. Not quite as bad as making Cruella a protagonist, but it's close. I mean, come on. These guys will ignore things that are not threats, including pregnant women. That bitch wants to kill and skin puppies, for fuck's sake. I referenced video games specifically due to Dan Trachtenberg using video games as inspiration for this movie. Let's be clear, I am not saying video games cannot be good mediums for storytelling. They absolutely are. Many of the games I referenced in this video are stories that I enjoy. But video game movie adaptations do not have the best history of quality. This movie feels like a video game adaptation from the 90s. It has most of the symptoms. Crap dialogue, campy stylistic fights, characters that don't make sense, plot holes, the works. Speaking of plot holes, they can be patched up by familiarizing yourselves with various supplementary material. Different video games, comics, novels, and even some fan-made media. And that's the problem. The extended universe of Predator began with comics after the release of the first movie. They added to the lore without interfering with the movies. The comics were largely dependent on the movies, and now the opposite is true. Would you like an example? Meet John Schaefer, a creation in the comics. He's Dutch's brother because they could not use Dutch. His comic debut was during a time when we were still not sure if Arnold would return to Predator or not. He became a recurring character. Now, fast forward to the video game Predator Hunting Grounds. That game has a recording of Dutch encountering a female predator for the first time, dubbed Cleopatra in the game.
Our last encounter was special. We weren't certain if they had any gender to speak of, but that changed when we came into contact with the female. She was smarter and deadlier. She didn't fuck around like the males did. She was direct, ruthless, and skilled.
Female predators have actually been a part of the extended universe for a long time, and apparently their homeworld is actually run by them. A matriarchy, if you will. An idea that Disney absolutely could not ignore. We get Weyland-Yutani shaking off being thrown away by a throwaway line without explanation too. The problem itself is in order to make sense out of the nonsense, it requires homework. Supplementary material now being required for it to make sense in universe. Weyland-Yutani's return, Bad Bloods, female alien hunters, all from the expanded universe. A universe that began on the big screen. Naturally, it's confusing to those who only see the movies. And the story of this movie is way too simple to require homework. It is a basic hero's journey if you delete the Weyland-Yutani stuff, which you can actually do simply by making Deck not retarded. So, does that mean Cleopatra is canon? But what does that mean for Dutch? I thought he was an ice cube.
A fight with a Predator female went bad and I was critically wounded. Dying, I agreed to experimentation. It worked. It worked so well that the cells in my body stopped aging. Pushing 80 now, I'm fighting like a man in his 40s. It's not the only experiment that I've been part of. I'm deadlier now than I was in Valverde.
Is Big Mama canon? Oh hell, is Big Mama Deck's mom? Just like I said in my Killer of Killers video, they are treating the lore like a buffet for crazy people, picking and choosing what they want without considering the implications of what they use. The irony is, Dan chose to put this well into the future in order to avoid contradicting anything, since he wasn't even in the loop of what they were doing with Alien Romulus or Alien Earth. Still think crossing over is a good idea? Honestly, much of this movie can be fixed by just removing the alien crossover elements completely. The world building of Alien has a lot of issues, a lot of its own issues, especially now. Alien Earth decided to have 5 different corporations rule the world. So, if they were the government, why did the military have authority over the mission in Aliens? How could they have been outlawed in Alien Resurrection? If Weyland-Yutani breaks any laws, who do they answer to? The 5? Fuck right off with that answer. If the company doesn't have to answer to anyone, why was Burke worried about what Ripley might do?
Well, I'm gonna make sure that they nail you right to the wall for this. You're not gonna sleaze your way out of this one. Right to the wall.
It's very confusing, and the most recent installments don't do it any favors. If you love this movie, good for you. I will even go so far as to point out things in this movie worth celebrating. Try to understand why so many people do not resonate with it. If you want to defend this movie, try doing so without using the word incel. Get better arguments. On the subject of buzzwords, I would not call this movie woke, but it is weak. To everyone who absolutely hates this movie, where the fuck were you when Killer of Killers was released? I saw this bullshit coming, and that movie set my expectations for this one. The blow was cushioned for me. Ever since Prey, this franchise has been softened, little by little. For me, the line was crossed during the animated anthology that kept nerfing, stupefying, and straight up making the Predator incompetent in every story. That mess of a movie set the expectations for this one, and I dare say this one is better, but not by much. I do not hate this movie, but it did annoy me. Maybe I'm jaded, but it exceeded my expectations a few times. Dan Trachtenberg has a curious career. Before being given the keys to the Predator franchise by Disney-owned 20th Century Studios, he was known for directing a few episodes of television and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Keep in mind, the previous 2 Predator movies were released on Hulu. They gave this guy training wheels while also giving full theatrical releases to remakes like The Lion King, Snow White, and even more recently, renewing Alien Earth for a 2nd season. Lucasfilm made, released, and canceled The Acolyte before giving this guy a shot at the big screen. I have learned that he has a podcast and he is very passionate about what he does. He's taking inspiration from the video games and comics during both the Dark Horse and Marvel era and putting elements from them into his movies. Not too different from what happened with Disney Star Wars. What makes him different from modern Lucasfilm is he isn't going out of his way to insult fans. I sincerely believe he is a decent guy and that he means well, but I do not particularly care for the results of his work. I do not envy him his job either. He has to balance the violent, gory, and intense world of Predator with Disney-mandated bullshit, resulting in dumb antagonists, contradicting lore, and pissed off fans. There are many fans of the Dark Horse run of Predator comics that are seething at this family-friendly bullshit, alienating the same people he was trying to appeal to. Now, I'm going to attempt to see the future. Badlands takes place well into the future, past anything we have seen. Killer of Killers ended on an unknown year. Royce and Isabel's story in Predators takes place later in the franchise according to Dan, and Ripley, number 8, has alien DNA. She could probably live well beyond 100 years. You know what that means? I bet Dan is trying to set up the Predator Avengers, which will probably be another AVP movie too. Just when you thought this couldn't get any more ridiculous. Oh hell, about the work in the remaining 2 idiots from Romulus into that shit too. Once is an accident. Twice is coincidence. 3 times is a pattern. We have a for sure pattern here. Disney-owned 20th Century Studios is softening the Predator while attempting to set up a cinematic universe of an overexposed 80s classic. Predator has been robbed of its teeth, dignity, and brains. As far as this movie is concerned, it's not the best, not the worst. It's bad, but not completely terrible. It has some impressive action set pieces, but it's not enough to call it amazing. Hyperbole is rampant around this movie, on both sides of the argument. The truth is, it's just another addition to the many other properties infected by a creatively bankrupt studio. You can love it or hate it as much as you want, but it's bad. Not great, not the worst, just bad. But if I'm honest about how I feel, this franchise is bleeding, and it needs to be killed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next stop.
Okay, I think I got this one. Pretty one, stupid one, one with weird powers.
Oi! I appreciate that, but I say I'm more handsome than pretty.
And my powers are not that weird.
Okay, I take it back. You're all stupid.